Lighter than his last fight. How's AJ looking to you? I mean, he seems to have adopted a even more focused approach. He's spoken about the pressure that he felt last year and how that has almost made him a better fighter. He's learned to handle things even better. Have those questions, you think, that were around the rematch a year ago, do you think they've all been answered?
No, I don't. I think for him, the rebuilding, I think the fact he came back with a good win, it was great for his confidence. For the first time, he was the darling in the boxing. For the first time he got beat, you're not that good after all, and all that's thrown at you all of a sudden. Then he avenged that and showed, listen, I can do something different now. Look how good I am. But as Carl mentioned earlier, it didn't answer the questions about his confidence in his chin. No, is he going to be wary now to want to go power forward and be the aggressor and be the animal that he was earlier on in his career that everyone fell in love with? And I think that's the difference. I think he can be that. I think he still can and still will. But there's still some questions, still things you want to see, and I think this fight is a good fight for that. I think Pulev's a good fighter, but as Carl said, he's 39 years of age, won't be at his peak, and I think it's about who really stamps their authority the quickest.
I think Pulev will take a lot of confidence from Anthony Joshua's previous performances. He'll see that he got shook to his boots by Dillian Whyte, a naive, quite green Dillian Whyte. And then he was down on the floor. Yes, he got up to win against Klitschko, but he was down and badly hurt and shaken up and there almost for the taking. And that beating he took, and it was a beating off Ruiz, wasn't really rectified as satisfactorily as I would have liked to have seen it when he rematched Ruiz and just outboxed him and outmanoeuvred him, because of the shape and size and state, if I can use that word, against the fight of Ruiz. It wasn't acceptable coming in defending his titles. So what has AJ done since losing to Ruiz to prove to me that he belongs in the ring with somebody like Tyson Fury, the best of the best? Nothing. So for me, he's got something to prove against Pulev. And I think he can, but Pulev will be very confident.
Physically as well, we've seen Anthony Joshua change shape, haven't we? Over the last sort of 12, 18 months, he's slimmer up top, and genuinely, And Rob McCracken's spoken about how he's been doing even more boxing. It was getting a bit tasty here.
Yeah, sorry, I know they're having a right good chat with each other. This is what the fans want to see. It's what I want to see, because Pulev's obviously coming confident. I don't know what he's saying, but AJ's responding, and they're having a good old chat there. So see if Andy Scott can get anything out of them when he has his chat. But this for me is taste. It's what I want to see, because I've got a feeling Pulev will come into the ring very confident. Listen to Bob Arum, and he'll be talking to him as well. And AJ now is kind of being put on his back foot there by Pulev.
Well, everyone who fights AJ now, because what Ruiz did, will say, put it on him early now. Because Carl said he hasn't answered those questions yet about what his confidence is like when he takes a shot. So they'll say, put it on him early, because you want to just stem that confidence, take it away. If he has any, take it away quick. Whack him on the chin. Because, by the way, some of those things you were saying about Joshua...
But they're still going, guys.
Still going for it.
But some of you said about Joshua actually were positives, that he's been hurt before, but he comes back and fires back. So I think he has plenty of fire in his belly. To be fair, I think he's proved that time and time again. The Klitschko fight alone showed that he can get up and fire back and get the win. And I think that says a lot about a fighter.
As a fighter, when the back and forth is going on and the face-off, they become very steely. Can it actually get to you, or did it get to you, Carl?
It can get to you, yes, definitely. And sometimes it depends on what's being said, and we can't hear what they're saying here. But by the body language and by the reaction of Anthony Joshua here, Pulev is getting inside AJ's head and making him respond and making him react. He pulled his mask down there a minute ago, and he didn't look happy. So Pulev will be trying to get into him and say, "Listen, I know what you're about. I've seen flaws. I've seen, I know how to beat you." I think that's probably what's going to go down there. But it's good. I like what I'm seeing, because it shows that Pulev is coming to win, and AJ is going to have to be forced to put a performance on. And if AJ performs the way in which I think he can, boxing and moving early on, and then gets down to work after round 6 into the later rounds, if he starts putting his combinations together and shows us the old Anthony Joshua, I think it's going to be spectacular. A great performance, and it will set him up for the big one next year.
Well, we couldn't quite hear what was said between those two, and it's still going on. This is absolutely brilliant. Anthony Joshua's going to be making his way over to Andy Scott. Well, perhaps not now. It's spilling over. I mean, you can't believe these two have actually been in the same hotel.
It's crazy.
You'd think they would have been kept separately looking at this.
I sort of disagree with Cal. I think it's important for Joshua to start early. And because Pulev likes to fight, likes to dictate the pace, he slows you down. and then he does a good jab to get that into play. I think if you fight at a high pace,
I know what you're saying. Get his respect early.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
It's risky for Josh. Don't forget, he's been done. He's been over. He's been struck to his boots, and he's been knocked out and done, and kind of forced to retire himself out that fight, in that Ruiz fight. He needs to gain confidence, and that one fight, the rematch fight against Ruiz.